Hello everybody, I'm really sorry that I haven't actually done a video in a while or a blog post. I just want to let you know that it isn't because I've forgotten about them, it is literally just because I've had probably the hardest time of my life in these past couple of months or so. It's been atrocious, but I know that it's all for a reason, and I know God has got me, and He's brought me to a point in my faith before everything started to go horrendously downhill that I could stand back from my situation, like my really bad situation, and just be like, do you know what? I believe in God and I believe in His goodness. I still do, and I always will. Because if what was happening to me this year was happening to me when I was like third or fourth year, like I would have crumbled. Like I actually would have crumbled. And it's not my own strength, it's God's. Also, before I get into my testimony, because that's what this video is going to be about, and that's a testimony, by the way, is how somebody is brought to God, how God drew close to them, and how He adopted them into His family. And that's always a really good thing, and it's open to anybody, and I'll explain that at the end. So yeah, I have a cold at the moment, so I'm sorry that I sound a bit weird, and I'm just a bit glandy on it, to be honest. I'm not going to edit this video, not that I ever really edit my videos anyway, but I like put clips together and stuff, but this I just want it to be like a talking video, that it's literally just like me talking. What's changed, Hannah, what's changed? But like, it's just me talking, and yeah, because I love natural testimonies, like that you don't, like they're not edited all the time, or like this is inserted and that's inserted. Like I just like somebody saying like, this is how God took me under His wing, and that's it. Probably there might get to a time that I might cry. I don't have notes, so I pray that God will put on my heart what He wants you guys to hear, what He wants even a certain person to hear, and I hope somebody or all of you watching this is or are blessed by what you hear, not through me but through Jesus, and Jesus through me. So first of all, I used to hate the fact growing up that I was brought up in a Christian home, because when I told people that I was a Christian, they'd be like, so you're brainwashed then? Oh, so you're not allowed to do choices for yourself then? And especially because I said I became Christian when I was 5, which is young, it is really young, and I understand that, and I still don't believe that's when like I properly got it, but I did understand then the fundamentals that, number one, I wasn't good enough for God by myself. I knew that I was a sinner because I knew on my terms that I like hit my sister and lied to my mum and their bad things, and that Jesus was the only one who could take away my sins. And it was basically just from songs like Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so, and stuff like that. And I knew that all I needed to do was pray to Jesus and say, Jesus, I'm really sorry for the bad things I've done. Please forgive me and forgive all my sins yet to come. And I ask you into my heart. And that's how I became a Christian. So basically it was really simple back then. Take me to back then. Take me back. DBT. And I just remember knowing that my dad would be like super hyped. Like I didn't know why, because like I was 5, but like I just knew when I told him he'd be happy. So dad used to like velcro our shoes and put scrunchies in our hair before we went to school, before he went to work. So I remember sitting on the monk's bench at the front door, and he was like velcroing up my shoes, and I was like, yo dad. No, I was like, Dad. He was like, yeah. And I was like, I became Christian last night. And I just remember him starting to cry, but he's like smiling, so like I knew he was happy. And something I love about my dad is that he's really emotional, and like he'll just, how he's feeling, he'll just show, and I love that. Like he'll cry if he needs to cry, like he'll just cry, and I love that. I think it's like, it's a really manly thing to do, like showing that you're not afraid of emotion, and like you're not afraid of people judging you for crying. So like shout out to Peter Hewitt for being a huge crybaby. I love you for it, I really, really do. So anyway, yeah, long story short, primary school was amazeballs. Like people who weren't Christians, or like didn't consider themselves Christians, didn't go to church, or didn't come from a Christian family, they were chill with you being a Christian. They were like, cool bro, if you want to be a Christian, you do you boo. And I was saying to them, like I didn't really care, I didn't really understand why people like needed to be Christians. I was just like, I know I'm a Christian, I know my family are Christians, like that's it. Do you know what I mean? Like I was like, whatever. And then I got into first year, and yeah, I still said I was a Christian because I knew I went to church, and I knew that I gave my life to Jesus when I was 5, but I hadn't really explored the options. And once I got into secondary school, I think this is a lot of, like the case for a lot of people, I heard people like swearing, and I was like, what? Like, that's definitely a word my mum told me not to use. So then I started to use them. I started to use bad language. I know, right? Jesus girl. What? So I started to use bad language, and it was something I struggled with for like a couple of years. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure if like even Christian friends will know that, but that's something I struggled with personally. And anyway, I still said I was a Christian. People knew I was a Christian, but there was nothing to show for it. Yes, in the Bible it says, judge not. We can't judge people, but Jesus also says that you will know them by their fruits. And that means that we will know, as Christians, other Christians by the spiritual fruit that they produce. And I was not producing a lot of fruit. Let's just say. I mean, like, I was swearing, I gossiped a lot, I don't even know. Yeah, like, I just was not leading, like, a life that you'd be like, oh my word, she a godly girl. So, like, people, unless I was like, I am a Christian, like, people wouldn't know that I was Christian. That's a good way to put it. So anyway, time went on. I got into, like, second year and third year, and I got into third year, and there was just this time, I don't know why, but I was literally just like, nah, I don't really believe in God. But it wasn't like, I can't remember if, like, I didn't believe in his existence, or, like, I just didn't believe that he was, like, always good. I just remember having a time like, yeah, I don't really want to be a Christian anymore, like, for some reason. And it wasn't really peer pressure, because I've never really struggled from peer pressure. Like, the swearing thing was just because I picked it up from other people. It wasn't people going, like, swear, you know what I mean? Like, like, nobody did that, but, like, yeah, just something to struggle with again. And then in fourth year, I got put on the SU committee, and this is when I was fully professing to be a Christian again, like, without a doubt, because I started going to, I forgot to mention this, a YF in second year. That really, really pulled me up. Yes, it was God, but it was through the people that he used for God's glory in my life. Because the people that I met there have changed and continue to change my life continuously. I flipping love every single person I've come across in that YF, and I mean that. Like, as a sister in Christ, like, I really do, and you've all helped me in your own ways. Like, I probably don't even say that enough, but you really have. And my leaders especially, shout out to Chris and Karen, like, you guys have changed my life, and, like, the work you do in the church is life-changing. I know it's through God. I'm trying not to give you guys glory, but, like, you guys are pretty great too, just as people, and I really appreciate that. So anyway, without that YF, I really don't think I'd be a Christian anymore, as I said, because, like, third year was having those huge doubts. I'm still going to YF and stuff, because, like, I love the social aspect of it, and I had, like, such good friends there. Like, I, like, loved them. Time of my life. But yeah, I got into fourth year, and after those thoughts of, like, not want to be a Christian anymore, I can't remember a revelation of being like, apart from I went to a camp at the end of third year going into fourth year called Crosslinks, and I feel like I actually really connected to God there, and, like, understood that, like, he wanted me, even though I was just, like, a young teenager. Like, I think that's when I understood that it was a relationship and not a religion. So yeah, that was all chill. Got into fourth year, everything's going fine, having a really good time. SU I found really encouraging, because I didn't go when I was in junior school, and we started to go in senior school, so it was an encouragement being put on the committee in fourth year, like, from the start, because you're like, it's just a huge encouragement, because it doesn't make you better, but it just makes you like, whoa, like, God is looking out for me, do you know what I mean? So it got me more involved, and I thank God for that, because, again, it's something that's, like, really held me up and helped me meet other Christians from school. So then, and by the way, I know people know about my illness, and I don't let it become my identity. I know most people probably think that I do, because I've posted about it, like, 3 times, like, 3 whole times. But it is, yes, it's not my identity, but it's a huge part of what I go through, and it's a huge part of what God's brought me through, and it's a huge part of what I'm dealing with. So, like, I do need to talk about my testimony. Sorry to bore you all, but yeah, I got diagnosed with ME when I was in 5th year, and that was really tough for me, because I missed my GCSEs, and, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I didn't really find GCSEs like that challenging, like, even in class, like, I didn't really. So I feel like God was kind of like, Hannah, life isn't going to be easy, so, like, I think that's, honestly, I feel like that's why he gave me, or decided to put me through this trial of being ill, because until this point, I genuinely did think that life was, like, really easy. Like, things at home weren't easy, but I was like, why do people complain about life so much? Like, it's pretty easy, because, like, I had a family that loved me, and I was surrounded by so many friends. You know, life was just lit. Like, it was lit. I went to, like, loads of youths, and, like, I loved it. I loved life. Got into 5th year. All of a sudden, I'm in bed all the time after going to ballet from I was 3 years old, from going to campaigners from I was like 4, from hockey from I was first year, P7 actually. Sign me up for the Ireland team. Just kidding, I only got in the thirds. Like I literally was crap at hockey, but what can you do? But I enjoyed it nonetheless, and I was really active. Just going runs before school and after school. Then I took really good care of myself, and then in 5th year just hit rock bottom. And I can't even describe what ME is properly like, but I'll just describe it as probably the worst flu you've ever experienced in your life every single day. Like every day you wake up and you're like, it's bound to leave today, like it's bound to leave today. And then you realise, yo, something's wrong. So basically I was sleeping from 4 p.m. when I got home because I had to quit all my after schools because I literally didn't have the energy to even get through school, let alone do an extracurricular. So that really took its toll on me because I was like, I'm not even the same person anymore. I didn't tell anybody how much that upset me because I was like, I am the smiling face of our year. I just felt like everybody knows me by my smile. Like my smile was always something people said, you're always smiling. It was always something people commented on, like, it's so good to see your smiling face. So I didn't want to let people down, basically. And also, I don't smile for other people's benefit all the time. Sorry, lads. It's literally just because I am a smiley person and my face just kind of feels like it rests in a smile. But yeah, I didn't tell anybody how upset that made me from having to quit like hockey, ballet, double bass, swimming orchestra and stuff. So I just let kick on. 5th year I just struggled with tiredness, so like I wish it had just stuck, like it just stayed, because I thought that was going to be the worst. I thought that's what ME was just tiredness. So I was like, yeah, still didn't find it that difficult. It got into lower 6th and I started to get extreme pain all the time. And by the way, I found an amazing doctor. By the way, he's like changed my life. He's given me like this really good medication. There are only like 5 people in the UK around. It was like really cool. It really helps me. It just helps me get out of bed. Pardon me, at any time of the day. Yeah, it's not always 7 a.m. Sometimes it's 2 p.m. but it's still out of bed. So yeah, I started getting more symptoms. So I started to have loads of blackouts. I started to I can't move with my back pain sometimes. I go through temporary paralysis where I can't, it just is what it says in the tin really. It's just when you go through periods of being temporarily paralysed. You can't move your legs, you can't move your arms, I can't feed myself. Through this, I lost a lot of weight. I lost a really large amount of weight in a short space of time. I wasn't feeding myself. I love food so much. Everybody watching this probably knows that. I post about food quite a lot. And I couldn't eat. Sometimes I still can't. But yeah, that was in lower 6th. But coming into lower 6th, I forgot to say, sorry, I actually probably should have edited this video because I'm such a blatherer, but what can you do? Everything's like in a wrong order here, but basically this was the summer between 5th year and lower 6th. Sorry for those who've already heard this story, but it is part of my testimony. So I was like, we were on holiday, it was like with my sister, my mum and my dad, and we were in Spain, and we went into the centre of Granada, and we went to Accord Anglais, which is like a huge department store. So yeah, it had like Sephora, I was living, and Calvin Klein, like all like fancy stuff like that, like you don't really get over here. So we were really excited because we never go into cities. Like we were always saying like the outskirts of like towns. My throat's getting really dry. Do I have water? Yeah, I do. Sorry about this. That's the cold kicking in. Where was I? Yeah, so we were walking around, we got into Sephora. Okay, so this is how you know that I was sick, because yeah, I don't wear like a huge ton of makeup all the time, but like I love makeup. Like I love makeup so much. Like I just like love the creative side of it and stuff, and also just because it just does make you pretty. I mean, people are like, you look so different without makeup, and then you're like, well, I didn't pay this money to look the same. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, yeah. Just have mascara on right now though, and a bit of Vaseline. But yeah, I'm getting distracted anyway, sorry. I'm a bit hyper because I really need the toilet, and I don't want to end this video to like go to the toilet. So sorry, I'm blathering. What am I doing? Actually, what am I doing? Anyway, God, not makeup, not makeup. So anyway, we're in Sephora, and this is how you know I was sick, because I said to Mum and Rebecca, I was like crippled in pain. I was going, ow, ow, ow. This was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. I was like, everything around me was blurry because of how much pain I was going through in my stomach. And I never had like experienced stomach pain before, so I was like, what is this? Like, apart from obviously like period cramps and stuff, but like I was like, oh my word, ow, ow. And my sister regrets this because obviously things went downhill from here. But Rebecca turns around to me and she was like, Hannah, stop exaggerating, okay? I'm going over here to look at the jeans. And I was like, ow, ow. Like, I couldn't even respond to her. I was like, oh, Rebecca. And she was like, shut up. And then Mum was like, Hannah, if you're going to be a nuisance, go downstairs and go outside with your dad and get a Coke. And I was like, okay. No, literally, I was in pain again. I was like, oh. So I went over to Dad and I was like, Dad, like, I just remember saying to him, this isn't normal. Like, this is not normal. And he was like, I'll take you over to the chemist and we'll get some paracetamol. By the way, in Spain, they do huge, big paracetamols. They give you like a 30-pack of paracetamol. They're like horse tablets, and they're 1 milligram. And we get 200 no, 1 gram. What? Sorry, I'm not. Oh, I sound so stupid now. Yeah, 1 gram isn't like 1 milligram. Yeah, that makes sense. So over here we'd get like 200 to 500 milligrams. Over there they give you like a 1 gram tablet. Like, it's weird, it's scary. But they tell you to take 2, so you're like 2,000 milligrams, which is mad. But anyway, from this point on, everything is a bit blurry. Dad took me in after going to the chemist. We went into a cafe, and I just remember Dad. This is so weird. I walked in, I saw the man. I remember seeing the man. He asked, apparently, what do you want? I didn't answer him because I didn't hear him. My hearing and vision were starting to go, and I couldn't even get out to Dad that I needed help. But I remember Dad digging me, going, Hannah, answer the man. He was like, do you want a Coke? And I just said, yes. But then we went over to this booth, and Dad was like, Hannah, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go to the toilet. I don't know why, like, I just felt like, I don't know, like, the toilet's a comfort zone. You know when you don't feel well, you're like, I'll just go to the toilet. Like, it'll heal me if I go to the toilet. So, like, I went to the toilet. And I was sitting on the toilet. Does anybody remember that vine? Sitting on the toilet. And so, yeah, I was sitting on the toilet. And I was like a wee booth. It had, like, the sink in it as well. Because it was, like, for disabled people as well. It only had, like, 1 wee cubicle. So I was sitting on the toilet. How many times can you say sit on the toilet in a sentence? Sit on the toilet. I was sitting on the toilet. And all of a sudden, you know when people say when they have a headache or whatever, oh, my head's spinning? I would say that as well, because like a terrible phrase. But honestly, guys, like, I was like this, right? My head, I felt it go down like this. And then it physically started to do this, like, involuntarily. And in that moment, like, I was like, whoa, my head is so flipping heavy. And, I know your head's heavy anyway, because obviously it's got your brain in it, and if you're as smart as me, it's going to be super heavy. I'm really joking. Am I though? But anyway, I was like, now when I think about it, if I was like watching this on like camera, I'd probably laugh. But like my head was just going around and around, like I couldn't stop it. Bearing in mind, it was 42 degrees heat, right? But I didn't really like clothing, and I didn't feel like overly hot when I was outside and stuff. Like, I'm actually okay with the heat, although I go really red, but like oddly, yeah. So it was 42 degree heat, but all of a sudden, my body goes into this mode of freezing, like freezing. I look down at my hands and they're yellow, like there's no circulation, and I look like a dead person. And that's when I started to really panic, because in that moment, apart from my hands, I couldn't move my legs, and I knew that I needed help, and I didn't know what was going on. This is probably the longest part of my testimony. I'm sorry, this is going to be a really long video, but yeah. Basically, long story short, I fell to the ground, off the toilet, fell off the toilet, and I had left my phone on top of the sink. So I tried to stand up from falling, but my legs weren't working properly, so I had to like crawl over to the sink, and then my vision completely went, so my eyes like properly open. It was such a weird feeling, because obviously I'd never experienced being blind before, but in that moment I was, so like my eyes were like wide open, but I couldn't see anything. Like, it was just total darkness. And I was starting to freak out, because I was like, what is going on here? Like, what's going on? So I tried to get into my phone, and obviously I couldn't, because I couldn't see. And so then I crawled over the door, and it was a direct door then into the cafe, so I was like knocking on the door, like for somebody to hear me, and I just remember this like Spanish lady going like, hola, 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 and I tried to speak, but I couldn't. So I just sounded like, and I wouldn't speak, like, couldn't speak. And basically, I passed out, and it was for 20 minutes. Dad was able to tell me the time frame this, so I was like in the bathroom for like 25 minutes, so that would make sense, before he saw me the first time. I passed out, and I woke up, and my vision was like sort of back. I don't know how to describe it, but I was sort of back, but it wasn't like properly back. And then I went over to my phone. I had my phone in my hand, and I tapped in my code, but it took so many times because if I wanted to tap here on my phone, I tapped like over here. It was like the calibration of my brain was wrong. It was so weird. I was like trying to get it. I finally got it after so many attempts, and I rang Dad, and I thought I said help me, but like, you can laugh now because like I laugh now, but like Dad was like, yeah, you sound like a whale. Like, apparently I was like, help me. So basically, long story short again, because honestly he could go on and on and on. He was like, he looked at me in the bathroom. He thought it was girl problems. He literally, the man thought it was girl problems because like he hadn't just seen what's going on, and like Dad just stepped back and he's like, I'll go and get your mum in the shopping centre. And I was like, I couldn't even answer him. Anyway, he didn't want to stick around because he thought it was girl problems, like girly problems, like girly toilet problems. No, and like guys who wouldn't get involved in that. So anyway, yeah. So then next thing I know, like I pass out, I wake up, and I'm a big girl. I'm 5'8", and I was on the bathroom floor. My body wouldn't move. I remember looking up at Mum, and Mum was rocking back and forth, like cradling me like a baby, and she was crying and crying and crying, like, and she was just saying, Lord Jesus, please be with her, please be with her. And this is when I looked up at my mum, and I looked down at my wrist, and my left hand had completely turned in, and Mum just, I went to Mum, what's happening? Because I couldn't say anything but what's happening, like, and Mum said like it was like all slurred and everything, but I'm going to spare you the impersonation of myself. But I was like, what's happening? I remember this being the scariest thing in my heart because I couldn't really speak. I couldn't tell Mum how I felt. It was just what's happening. And that was when it really frightened Mum, and she held me really close and she screams, Peter, get the ambulance! From this point on, until I get to the hospital, I don't remember anything because I believe that I almost died. And I believe God brought me through a miracle because what the hospital said in Spain it was completely different to all my scans when I got back home, which is unbelievable, like absolutely unbelievable. And this was a time in my faith that I was getting like a wee bit weary, and I felt like God was like, you're not going back to where you were in like second and third year, like I'm going to hold on to you. I just remember there being a time in the bathroom floor, that must be where I was, or it could have been an ambulance, I don't know. Basically I was unconscious for 2.5 hours and they couldn't get me round, and I had to be like revived. But I remember being in that moment, and I can't describe it, and I wish I could send this feeling even telepathically to you guys to prove God is real. People say, well, how do you know, they say there's so many faiths out there and so many religions, so how do you know Christianity is true? If Christianity wasn't true and I was practically on my deathbed, I wouldn't have got this feeling that I did. There would have been, if Islam was the true religion, I would have had Allah go, you're going to be condemned, you believed in the wrong faith, you're not going to heaven. Instead, I felt this embrace of the Father that I still believe in, and he said to me, come home. And I didn't want to go. I wanted to go to heaven because obviously we know how good heaven's meant to be. But I was like, God, I haven't done enough for you. When I realised in that moment in my heart, this was so weird because like I knew, like I was like, it was like my spirit and my body were completely detached because I was having this conversation and I felt like it was me like actually having it like outwardly, but it was all spiritually in my head with God. And I was begging God, I said, please don't take me now, like there's so much more I could do for you, there's so much more. And I was like, I told him, I promise you I will do more for you. Now I know you're real, I will do more for you. And I just remember like thinking in my head, I'm going to do something for God. If he keeps me alive, please keep me alive. But then I felt like he was taking me home, and it was really weird because as I was dying, I woke up. And I woke up in ICU in Spain, and I was held in hospital until they deemed me well enough. And that's a huge part of my testimony, huge. I'm probably going to upload these actually in parts because this is now 25 minutes. So yeah, look out for number 2. It's probably coming straight after it. To find out the rest of my testimony. So I hope you watch the other one. I'm actually just going to end this like right now because 25 minutes is a bit long. It's like a whole episode of like Riverdale. So yeah, thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next one and how you can find out how you can be saved too if you're not already, and how you can understand the joy of God and have somebody love you like nobody's ever loved you before. And I promise you, it's something really special.